Hey everybody! It is my 10th anniversary on YouTube. Now, if you're wondering, if I'm looking here, I'm looking there, I'm looking at the screen. I got my camera right here, set up nice. But yeah, it is my 10th anniversary. 10 years ago, I believe it was a Saturday, I uploaded my first toy review. It was Transformers Dark of the Moon preview. Cyberverse Commander Class Optimus Prime. It, I think, was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it came with a pair of 3D glasses to look at some trailer. Um, Particular mold would get reused a few times during the Dark of the Moon line, different accessories, different paint. But yeah, that was the first. Now, in all honesty, before that, I had uploaded a video. That was a video of my former cat, Mickey, in a little house type thing that my mother wanted to share with people. And this, at the time, was the easiest way to share. So, yeah, but first toy review, and that was it. It got around 3,500 views, where it sits right now. And that was the start of it. To give you a little bit of a back story, um, in February of that year, the previous year, 2010, I had lost my job as a restaurant manager. And then right after that had happened, my grandmother began the transition to the end of her life, and she passed away in March uh, of that year. So I had a lot going on. I had started doing a lot of odd jobs, but really, I mean, I had been watching YouTube at that point, but it really had taken off. And I had seen and heard about all these guys doing action figure reviews and, you know, making a living at it and doing this. So I'm like, I'm spending the money anyway. Why not, give it a shot? And I, took the step and I went ahead and started uploading. And back then, you had to, it was like, I don't know if you had to have a certain number of subscribers or a certain number of views before they would enable monetization. So it took me a little bit before I started earning stuff back on it. Of course, right after that happened, YouTube opened up monetization for everyone. Now, I immediately thought overnight things were going to go great because I saw what these other guys were doing, and that's not necessarily how it happened. Um, right now, I think I sit at um 6,550 some odd. Just looking at my phone. So 6,550 some odd subscribers. Um, and I've been told and have heard several times over the years, anything less than 10,000 subscribers, you really have a channel that is not doing anything. But on the flip side, I'm sitting on the precipice of 2 million views, which, if you look at my subscriber count, the content I do, um, that is something. I know a lot of other reviewers who have been around longer and get much, you know, that they did 1 million views within a year. But that's a bit different. Uh, you know, uh, do I have regrets? Sure. I think I would have. I should have realized starting off I had to be a lot more aggressive to get my channel out there. The overall quality had to be a lot higher. For a while I was still on non HD when everyone had made the conversion to HD. Um, but I had the rule that I could only put in what I get back. So I really could not spend exorbitant amount of money on upgrading state of the art this and that if I wasn't getting it back, because then that would affect my hobby, my collecting. So there was that. but I gotta say, I am overall pleased with everything. Um, I think I've carved out a little corner of the YouTube market. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody who's anybody was there on day 1 through 5, and I came in on day 14. So most viewers, they've have their favorites, and that's it. I mean, I have my favorites. And sure, there are guys who've started this, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and you know, they have a higher subscription count, more views than I do, and eh, it's that they have an audience that there's, they do something that people like, and I do something that not as much many people like. But like I said, I think I've carved out my own corner. Um, And whereas at the time, a lot of people were trying to be like entertaining and do skits and, you know, uh, make more of a like mini movies than actual reviews. The humor's not forced. I don't have a script. If I say something that's funny, you'll know it. I'll make a joke out of it. Um, Sometimes, I'm drawn to the silliness of some things, and but basically at the heart of it, it's, here's the figure. I present it to you to try and give you the information that you need. Um, a lot of times, especially in, recent years, the instructions just don't provide that. And I look at it as I'm providing a service. And recently, really within the last few months, that's the feedback I've been getting, hearing from parents and guardians of children. And they're like, you know, your videos, we had to search it out because it was the only one that could help us show us like battle call officer Bumblebee, or is it commander, the big one. That just took off, and it was the same comment over. The instructions weren't good enough, they weren't helpful, they're hard to read. I mean, remember Robots in Disguise, the 2015 series, or whatever year that was. Not RID 2000, but the later one that was like the sequel to Prime. Those instructions, I mean, and I said it back then, they were made to fit on the back of the card. They left out transformation steps because they had their goal and their niche was to advertise a simplified transformation, and a lot of times it wasn't. They didn't show the weapon storage, which, if you didn't know to look for it, was like you would honestly miss it. And yeah, so I mean, some of those, those videos I'm really proud of. Any video that like I've heard that has really helped people, I'm proud of. I mean, so yeah, I mean, those first couple of years were a little rough. I'll freely admit it. It took a while to really say that. Well, I'm making something out of it. Again, I think I could have been a little more aggressive. There were a lot of times that I didn't submit videos to be newsed on websites. I took a little too long to film a video review because I was, enjoying things that too much. And, you know, but things went on, Age of Extinction. That's really, I think, when things start to explode. I mean, that's when I got video reviews, numbers, views in the double digits. That One Step Optimus Prime. That was my first video to break 10,000, 20,000, however thousand. I mean, I think it sits now at 50,000 plus views. And then to have the Power Battler Optimus Prime, that is my most viewed video. It has over 200,000 views. It's like really sustain. And I mean, that carried forward. That carried forward into Robots in Disguise. Prime, not so much, but like, a lot of those one step changers. And I think that's when I found my niche, doing the simplified figures, the one step changers, the Legion class, the gimmick figures, the simplified stuff that, you know, the kids were going to buy. And, and that's always been my niche, that I will go and I always seek out the simpler figures. I mean, lately that's been a little bit difficult with Cyberverse, and I think a lot of interest had died off in Cyberverse, but um, depending on the style and what it is, some have done really well, some haven't. Doesn't help that it's hard to find. I mean, that Scout class Swarm Bumblebee is like, did anybody ever see it at retail? I mean, I don't even, I think the repaint, the black stealth repaint got was found and not the original yellow version. But that's an aside. But yeah, um, I am so grateful that those of you who subscribed over the years and have stayed. I know, I just know that there's a lot of dead accounts on my channel or people who just don't watch. Um, I know 5 years ago my channel kind of shifted away from doing one type of reviews, and that was just because there was a lot of personal stuff going on. And again lately, the last few years, it's been a heavy Transformers focus. Because I mean, honestly, that's what gets the views. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of figures I have that I would love to present to you, and I think I'm going to go back into doing that because if you remember in the last vlog, I had mentioned for my 10th anniversary, I had wanted to do a review of a figure, or so something that's a little more personal to me, and I'm still going to do that. I don't know if it's going to be able to go up today because again, as I've explained, family working from home, everything going on in the world, my filming schedule has had to change. Whereas, and then, you know, certain figures take precedence over others. But yeah, but I think we're gonna, for the rest of this week, it'll be like a 10th anniversary celebration of sorts, if that sounds good to you. But I don't want to ramble on too long because I don't want to uh, take up too much of your time. I know some of the vlogs do well, some of them don't. But again, I just wanted to say thank you for all of your support over the years. Um, I don't know what the future holds. I mean, a few years ago, there was the big thing that if you had under 10,000 subscribers, you were going to lose your monetization. And if you remember, that was when YouTube sent out this very cold email that basically made people feel like they weren't welcome, like my sister, who, I mean, to be honest, I got lucky. I was grandfathered in. She had just started her channel a little sooner, and she fortunately missed out. But I think there's a lot like that. And let's not forget Copa. At the Copa, Copa gonna screw ya. Um, See what I mean about the silliness? It just comes naturally. But that was going to be the big thing of 2020. Like a lot of people were going to lose their channels, to change their channels, and thankfully it all worked out. But it also kind of showed me just where the loyalties of certain sites are and aren't, and how they value creators. And you know, I'll say it right now. As far as I know, only one Transformers site. And when I say, and I shouldn't say their Transformer site, this group of sites owned by, I think it's Toy News International, T-Formers. T-Formers was the only one to step forward and support creators and comment on Copa and, throw their support behind them. And they're not the biggest Transformer site. Um, the ones that are stayed silent. And that's not something I'm going to forget anytime soon because I mean, one of those sites is one that I've had a long relationship with. And I tried to present, I said, look, guys, here's what's going on. Here's some articles. It would really help if you could come out and side with creators and stuff and make a comment. And they didn't. And at the end of the day, it just seemed to me like they felt that the toys and the property were more important than the people who were helping keep this property alive. And I'll say it right now. I think video content creators, more so than photographers, more so than writers, when it comes to the Transformers brand, keep it alive because I mean, it's an action toy. You have to see it in motion. And I think that helps. FLW Studios, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. And I think, to see that in motion, that's what's important. And, you know, to just, I mean, this has happened a lot over the years where people will come out against video creators and, you know, stuff like that. And they just, whatever. I mean, a picture pictorial review with text is not as good as a video review, and anybody who thinks that and can end a news cycle on a figure because of that is wrong. And it's just, maybe you're looking out for your own interest, you're looking out for your own personal support, but at the end of the day, I truly feel if all video reviewers go away, you're going to see a significant hit to the online communities because people looking for that information are going to go away. So please continue to support the video content creators, support all content creators, but especially the video ones because we're the ones that are really out there the most. And just think, a little sign of support, a little sign of solidarity. I mean, don't say you're not political when you make political statements on your website all the time. And if you don't, just come forward and say it, and we'll call it a day and stop doing business with you. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to end on that, but it's just funny. Like that was going to be the story of 2020, and we all know how that turned out. Uh, but yeah, again, thank you so much. I think this is the third time I'm saying it, but almost forgot. It's my 10th anniversary, but it's my dad's birthday, so I'm going to be going over to his house in a little bit to celebrate his birthday with him. So yeah, happy birthday to my dad. Happy birthday to you. I find it funny. It's like it was like I remember it was a Saturday when I did that first video review. I wonder like how I did that without not being with him, or was I basically on the way over? But yeah, so it's my dad's birthday, and for you guys who know what's been going on the last few years, every birthday we have with him, we can celebrate and carry on. So, yep. So we'll end it on that positive note. It's a birthday today. So again, thank you so much. Um, and I hope I get to do this in another 5 years. I hope I get to do this in another 10 years. Maybe, and I hope I still have in 10 years the head, the hair. I still look basically the same, but yep. So for those of you watching this, thank you, FL Studios. You're like the only person in the chat, so thank you for coming by. I'm going to end this now, but take care, and I'll see you next time.